An image like no other, inspiring decades of research and debate. The Shroud of Turin, that's a piece of history, and it has an
The shroud completely inspires those who believe in it because we have to remember, Jesus left no physical trace of himself on earth. He wrote nothing. There's no archaeological evidence, actually, that he existed.
Over 2,000 years ago, a child was born in a quiet corner of Judea. His name, Jesus Christ. A man who would go on to change the course of history more than any figure before or after. He healed the sick, calmed storms, forgave the unforgivable, and claimed to be the Son of God. That claim is what got him arrested and nailed to a Roman cross. But what happened next is what sets his story apart. According to Christian belief, Jesus was buried in a tomb. And just 2 nights later, something unimaginable happened. He came back, alive. The resurrection isn't just another story. It's the cornerstone of Christianity. And at the heart of this miraculous event lies one of the most fascinating and controversial artifacts in history, the Shroud of Turin. To some, it's a hoax. To others, it's the literal burial cloth of Christ, bearing his image at the exact moment of resurrection. Scientists have tried to debunk it, especially after carbon dating in the late 1980s claimed it was from the Middle Ages. But those results have since been called into question, and somehow new evidence keeps surfacing, almost as if history itself refuses to stay buried. Just recently, researchers discovered something extraordinary. What appears to be an inscribed name, etched into the shroud itself. Some are calling it undeniable proof. But before we get to that revelation, let's rewind to understand why this ancient cloth continues to stir both hearts and headlines. In the Gospel of John, there's a powerful detail. The burial cloths of Jesus were found lying in the tomb, folded neatly. For John, that detail alone was enough to convince him Jesus had risen. Many now wonder, could the Shroud of Turin be one of those very cloths? The earliest public record of the shroud dates back to 1355 in the town of Lire, France, where it was displayed by a knight named Geoffroy de Charny. Almost immediately, it sparked controversy. Bishop Pierre d'Arcy wrote a letter to the Pope, denouncing it as a forgery, a painted fraud. But the shroud's journey didn't end there. In 1453, it was transferred to the House of Savoy, Italy's royal family, and eventually entrusted to the Vatican. In 1532, a fire in a chapel nearly destroyed it, scorching parts of the cloth. Some believe that fire altered its appearance. Others believe it revealed even more mysteries. What makes the shroud unlike anything else in history is what's visible on the linen, a full-body image of a crucified man. The image is hauntingly detailed. You can see wounds, bruises, blood patterns, everything matching a Roman crucifixion. And yet, no one has ever been able to explain how the image was made. Not with paint, not with ink, not with any technique known to history. The figure's hair hangs as if he were standing, not lying down. There are no compression marks you'd expect from a body resting on a surface. The hair flows naturally to the sides of the face. On the back image, the hair drapes over the shoulders, not flattened by gravity. These aren't artistic mistakes. They're scientifically baffling. Dr. Gilbert Lavoie, a physician who studied the shroud for over 20 years, believes it captures something supernatural. The image, he argues, doesn't show a man lying in death, but a man rising, possibly suspended, as if caught in the very act of resurrection. Experiments with actual human subjects prove that the image couldn't have formed from a body lying down. There's no pressure on the back, no flattening, just pure, undisturbed detail. Then there's the dirt. Microscopic traces found on the feet of the image match a specific type of limestone found only in and around Jerusalem, especially near ancient tombs. Even more compelling, that same limestone was sampled just outside the Damascus Gate, near the very place Jesus was crucified. The wounds on the image match the gospel accounts in chilling detail. Abrasions on the shoulders from carrying something heavy, most likely a wooden cross. A knee injury consistent with falling. Blood and soil on the face, punctures around the scalp, exactly where a crown of thorns would rest. And then there's the wound on the wrist, 1 square centimeter in size. That same size matches a Roman nail discovered in Jerusalem, believed to be used in crucifixions. Most medieval art wrongly depicts nails in Jesus' palms, but the shroud shows the wrists, where Romans actually placed the nails to support the body's weight. On the side of the body, a 2-inch wide elliptical wound, exactly matching the kind of spear used by Roman soldiers. And the blood from that wound? Separated into red cells and serum, something that only occurs after death, confirming the account in John's Gospel, where blood and water flowed from Jesus' side. One of the most overlooked but fascinating details is what researchers believe to be ancient coins placed over the eyes, a Jewish burial custom. The coin's markings match those minted under Pontius Pilate between 2 BC and 33 AD, the exact time Jesus lived. Even the dimensions of the cloth are historically accurate. It measures 2 by 8 cubits, an ancient unit used during the time of Christ. Along one edge, a 3-inch wide strip is sewn in a style unique to first-century Jewish burials. Small clues, huge implications, and now the most recent breakthrough. Using high-resolution photography, scientists at the International Center for Shroud Studies in Paris discovered faint inscriptions embedded within the cloth. Letters, some in Latin, others in Greek, appeared beneath the image. One word stood out, Nazarene, a direct reference to Jesus of Nazareth. Experts believe the writing may have come from a burial tag, perhaps parchment placed on the face to identify the body. Over time, the ink transferred faintly to the shroud. What's incredible is that the inscriptions don't interfere with the main image, almost like a secondary layer of testimony. And here's something that would have been unthinkable for a medieval forger. The term Nazarene appears without any divine title. In the Middle Ages, such omission would have been considered heretical. But in the first century, that was how bodies were labeled. With all this evidence, scientific, archaeological, textual, we're left with a question. Could the image on the shroud truly be Jesus Christ? For believers, the answer is a resounding yes. The resurrection wasn't symbolic. It was physical, personal, transformative. It's the moment that split history and gave hope to the world. The Gospels tell us Jesus didn't just rise and vanish. He appeared to hundreds, taught, healed, and loved, proving he was alive. And for all the mystery surrounding the Shroud of Turin, one truth remains. The story it tells is far more than legend. It's a window into the most powerful moment in human history, the defeat of death itself.